Uh, we are back. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Good evening to all compatriots, everybody they follow we right now online. I want to say Ramadan Mubarak. Ramadan Mubarak to all Muslim brothers and sisters where they observe this holy month of Ramadan. I know say we don't cut fast for the day, and we pray that the fast will be the fast. God will bless we and will bless this country bountifully. We pray that everything we ask God for in this fast month will be answered by God Almighty. We want to actually start this program now. We want to greet people with online already. We get Abubakar Osayo, Ibrahim Kamara, Yusufu Inside Usise, we get Ajibu Tijanjalo, we get Process Amura, Patrick Johnson, we get Paul Conteh, my brother. I greet you all. I see a lot of people where they out of the country where they follow me. Today's program will focus on we findings and also will make recommendations on the violent clashes which take place na Lonsar, northern province of Sierra Leone, and of course Tumbo, within the western rural. All lentias to happen inside this month. Then all closely come inside this month, and we all see the disturbances we create. As civil society activists, we feel say we get a duty for go out and then find the facts and then bring them out and inform people, and for also make recommendations to the one them way in our positions of trust for able to address the issues there. So going forward, so whatever we will say now to today is purely and entirely the opinion of the civil society activists, Citizens Advocacy Network, and other civil society that will be doing at the ground there. And that every other person is open for go and make findings on waiting with the council Nayasu, and then come out with your recommendations then. We will try as much as possible make this thing very short. I'm not going to keep people online for quite a long time, taking into consideration the current state of affairs. We all don't hear a lot of information that will come around this incident will happen at Tumbo and Lonsar. We don't get mixed information from different quarters. Different people with different things them on waiting really happen. Now the two communities them. Now this is what we have found out, and we will do it systematically. We will start with Lonsar, when the first incident take place. We will narrate waiting, we find out. We will come to Tumbo, we narrate waiting, we find out, and then we'll give general recommendations, because the two places and waiting happen at the two places and a violent incident and take place, and the recommendations they give for touch and concern how and what we for do for actually address issues of violence, especially we get for do to youth. Now, to the issue of Lone Star, we able forget different sides of the story. We able forget people where even they currently in custody their account. We get leaders them na the ground day na Lone Star their account. We get community people account, and we get security personnel their account as well. All of what we get from them people as well, now we don't put together what we can present to a respectable audience where they watch we tonight, so as to actually inform una and for also see how we for provide recommendations to the authorities them we go use for actually inform policy decisions. Now, Lone Star incident come as a result of a WhatsApp publication where one of the youth in Lone Star make. One of the youth in Lone Star make a publication. This youth name, they call a nickname, again nickname where they call Bulgo. There is a youth in Lone Star where they call Bulgo, a young man. Bulgo at a particular point in time issue out a WhatsApp audio where it talk about a lot of things the way they affect them and the community in Lone Star. The audio, this guy Bulgo attack the authorities them, particularly the paramount chief, and accuse them of actually not seeking the interest of the people of Lone Star. In the audio, Bulgo accused the paramount chief of siphoning resources where mining companies and multilateral companies over that area they pay as what is referred to as corporate social responsibility to the paramount chief for community development and for the upliftment of their society, their community. He said they not see them funds here so they go in the right direction, and that the youth and they currently then jobless. They go to the extent for even accuse the paramount chief and other leaders in the place say now they're responsible for, in fact, Sarah mining, then contract in cancellation by government. This audio become a very serious concern to the authorities in Lone Star. Then decide for take them up with the police. The police invite Bulgo to go and answer to questions na the community police station at Lone Star. Before Bulgo go to this community police station at Lone Star, according to the information we receive, Bulgo decide for do an other audio in which he further attack the authorities and iterate in point and make boast that when they invite an Lone Star police station, it will make sure say about 1,000 youths go there, and then go accompany them at the police station. When he eventually go at the police station, the police then during the course of taking statement from Bulgo, then get calls for keep him at the police there for quite a long time. Bulgo was kept for take statement for a long time according to the sources we receive. And because of the kind of protracted nature of the statement taken, the youth and the community take and say Bulgo don't be detained and that Bulgo is under arrest. Bulgo is like the local champion at Lone Star, where people they look up to, where he talk, people and they really take and say he's the voice of the voiceless. So they say and say arresting Bulgo is like arresting the entire community, and it's like trying to undermine free speech and the rights of the common people. So that is how the youth then become and then there was some kind of conflict within the police station. Then begin ask that Bulgo be removed from the police station with immediate effect, and that the police therefore actually make Bulgo available to them where they for me and go back in our house. That they not even want Bulgo for to get at the police station. Looking at that kind of situation, the kind of rancor where it creates, the policeman then be get calls for get altercation with the youth them to a point that tear gas canisters were fired, and then the youth them, since they began the numbers, they were large in numbers. We really go actually for accompanying Bolgon at the police station, as Bolgon be actually promised in the audio he make. They overpower the policeman at the police station, because the policemen at the police station were not large in number. So they had to flee for their lives. And that was how the youth them get calls for actually take over the police station. And then begin cause havoc at the community day. Police then come in, high-handedness, then get some other reinforcement will come in. The situation become worse. And then where now then decide for go was to attack the paramount chief, who has been a key figure in the entire episode where I explain so. Mark you, Bolgo accused the paramount chief, when the paramount chief in that particular locality, of not actually seeking the interest of the people. Then they pay him, according to Bolgo, he said they pay him thousands of dollars for community development. They know they see community development. Most of the mining companies, they really be paid to the paramount chief. According to Bolgo, he said nobody receive the benefits. And even the clock tower waiting at the place, waiting at Lonsar, just like how you see clock towers in different areas that are across the country, where they're in good shape, they're so beautiful to watch. The people at Lonsar say their own clock tower, the paramount chief could not afford to make it out of the resources where all the mining companies in Lonsar will provide to them. So they now decide for going at the paramount chief in Oz for attacker. When they go at the paramount chief in Oz, the paramount chief was around at the time when they went. But because of security reasons, people let me get calls for run away with the paramount chief. Unfortunately, the youth then get calls for vandalize the paramount chief in Oz, some portion of the Oz, then burn some part of the Oz. You get to a powerful Range Rover Sport will be inside Oz. Then decide for burn them to ashes. And unfortunately, then kill one young boy within the either a relative or a pikin. Then kill him, which is very unfortunate. We pray that his soul rest in peace. Then get calls for also go attack the police barracks, because of, according to them, the high-handedness of the police officers them. Then say the police has always been colluding with the authority. According to them, the police, they collude with the authorities them for undermining rights and for actually make sure say they're not benefiting them for benefits. So then go attack the LUC, the local unit commander in Oz. And they also cause havoc there. Police get calls for getting reinforcement, then disperse the youth them. Then they institute some arrest. And as I speak now, they get 29 people waiting in custody now CID. All of them are male. Then get 14 in custody now Jue. Amongst the 14 waiting at Jue, from Lonsar, 4 na woman them. And amongst the 29 waiting at CID, Criminal Investigations Department, one of them are former honorable member, where they call Honorable Kayanke. Honorable Kayanke, according to your account, is when the irate youths then go out and begin cause problems, the paramount chief called Kayanke for make he decide may come in for talk to them, may help for talk to the youths them. Kayanke waiting in tell me in person is that due to the kind nature of conflict where they take place and he not be too sure of whether would have be out, it be get calls for ask that the paramount chief make he get security and let them provide out motorcar so that will come and can know what will happen and help the paramount chief and other community leaders there for address the issue. He said, well, at the time the paramount chief said they not be get vehicle and they not get what they call, so he not be for come. He said, so he was shocked that he was arrested and then he is being locked up in custody because of the incident. Then, of course, then conditions them they were taken from Lonsar to Freetown. When I asked them about what are the conditions under which they bring them, how they treat them, then one day where they hold and go and catch people in random. The policeman will engage, the policeman and go and catch people in random. Not to even during the time of the conflict, they catch most of the people within a custody, according to which I receive. Some of them say them be they in-house, them be they hide. So the kind of conflict they take place, fire, all man no run. They meet them inside, they hide, then they call them, then carry them. And they also pull some prisoners, they be in a prison day, na Lonsar. We be already we don't get some offenses, we be actually investigate, we be in a prison na Lonsar. They pull them all and count them all na Freetown. And these are the set of people that count na Freetown. We will get 29 plus 14. We always have mathematics now, we will make now and know what's in total. This is not the issue we get for how we come out, but Lonsar. But one thing that really touched me so much, I as a human rights activist, I asked them waiting how they don't fear on a CID, whether their rights have been actually respected in the course of this investigation. I was very disappointed for know that in the course of them being brought to Freetown, most of them were mercilessly beaten by police officers. Most of them were tortured. In fact, they say when they bring them na CID, I mean this OSD headquarters, then to them, this, that, beat them, most of them get the marks them as evidence, then pull close, then show me the marks and they. Now, let me come to a very important issue here. Whilst we condemn violence in all forms, let me use this platform now for condemn violence in the strongest term possible. Violence of any sort, not necessary in any place. You cannot handle any issue with violence. You cannot burn a police station because you are angry. You cannot burn the paramount chief's house because you are angry. We not go support that as an organization and as a civil society organization. We condemn violence in all forms. We believe that violence not forget place in our society. There should be amicable means for address the issues there. So equally, we feel say we authorities then get a duty for respect the rights of people. The police, to be particular, the account we are receiving, I see people who have been mercilessly beaten. I see people where them back in court, where in a prison. I see people where them beat say the ace court, then court the ace. They knock them with gun waste na them ace then court. I get account of somebody in a Joy, we get serious injury in waist. In waist they almost rotting now. They don't even provide out medication. It is a very serious issue. It's a very serious human rights issue. A one for us that then look into them and address them whilst investigations they go on. Now let me come to the issue of Tombo. Tombo, now a place where they're very close to the Freetown municipality. Of course, they're within the western area. Now a place where na predominantly na fishermen and they 80 to 90% of the people in Tombo are fishermen. Their livelihood depend on what thing that they do per fishing. They fish. Most of the fish that they get na Freetown for eat na from Tombo they come out. People who don't tell na mama them, we granny them. When them be one for the cook for we. Na Tombo they go buy fish, then count na Freetown, then can cook for we. For they get very good sauce. That is, Tombo is known for fish. After the 3 days lockdown, them get information, the fishermen, them, the community people, them get information, say, then go only allow a minute number of boats them for run, for go fish, for go and do them work. Then say around 10 to 15 or 20 boats, then only them go allow for go na the water side for go fish. Tombo na place gets about 200 boats there, or above 200 boats in fact. Tombo gets over 200 boats. And as I said earlier, most of the people in Tombo then depend on fishing for living, for their life, for let them live, let them feed them, picking them, send them picking at school, and take care of themselves. And say now only 10 boats then go allow for run na the sea for go fish on a daily basis. Then we rotate them. Whilst such a policy will be the intention may not be bad. The intention for get such a policy may not have been bad, may not be ill motivated, I must say. But maybe the manner in which they communicated was not actually appropriate. Especially when people are in 3 days lockdown. And I tell you, 80 to 90% of Sierra Leoneans they believe that they live by hand to mouth. Then keep them in-house for 3 days. They not get no way for get food. Then get now a way for go out after the 3 days lockdown. Immediately after the 3 days lockdown on the 6th. For go out and begin do them normal chores then for able to live and feed them family. Then carry this policy where the Abomaster go tell them. Because when them fishing communities and they get the head them. The head of the fishing community is known as the Abomaster. They say the Abomaster call and tell and say they not go allow all the boats for go the fish for go fish. Now only 10 or 15 them will allow for go fish on a daily basis. This particular information they receive spark conflict. It spark some kind of argument, spark this, that. Today they say we don't agree, we don't come out this, that, we don't get nothing for it, I want to for leave, blah blah blah. It creates a lot of problems amongst the fishermen them. So what thing can happen? The fishermen now begin get this argument, and there is a navy wing there. Because now they get that kind of sea. They get Navy people and the way they work with them. The Navy will get calls for intervene with the police. And then the situation deteriorates. When the situation deteriorates, tear gas canisters, as is always the case, where we get 10 kind clashes and day with security personnel them for fire tear gas canisters for disperse the crowd. They begin fire tear gas canisters amongst the fishermen them. And then begin get altercations, palaver, fet, this, that. The police then become now a target. The security forces become a target for them fishermen there as well. And the community people then. As I tell you, Tombona a predominantly fishing community. So when they notice say their living conditions, they be threatened by this policy for saying only a few boats will be run. Where you have over 200 boats, they say only 10 or 15 boats go wrong. They now see and say it is a threat to their lives. They now take up this thing, begin create arguments, and then it lead to rancor as a result of them till the day. They attack the police station. As we already don't know about what happened at Lonsar, the police station then had to also not be get more policemen them. As we all know, when then communities them. They're not can get Baku policemen and they're not can get up to 20 policemen in fact. So for now you get a situation where you get over 500 community people that they come for can attack a police station. They overpower the police them. The policemen they get calls for run. Most of them run at some point. They left the police station. You notice the police station, they enter the police station, begin vandalize, then try for even fix tire inside it for burn the police station. In the cause of that, the police get calls for call the capital, the city, for reinforcement. And they also call Benguma. Benguma they very close to Tombo. And then the military training ground. Benguma sojaman and coming. Policemen they come out from the city for come join and company for quell this riotous crowd. Can get some gruesome accident on the way. Unfortunately, then get some serious accident on the way where one parent die. Unfortunately, may his soul rest in peace, and several others seriously injured. That is how the policeman died. The woman where they go and say youths and kill policeman. No, community people do not kill policeman. Policeman die on account of the accident we then get. Now, when the military and police they don't reinforce and come at the ground, they now feel them for repel the crowd and make sure say the crowd go back to their homes. Then get calls for begin fire live bullet. And the cause of the firing of live bullet, 2 community people were gunned down. 2 community people were killed in the process. Then shoot one other young man wey be seriously injured na the leg dem shoot am. But before we left Tombo, because we go on the ground after the incident, some hours after the incident took place. But before we left Tombo, when we talked to the commander in charge of the operation at the place they were AIG Samadia informed we that the young man will get that injury in foot be die. So we get a total of 3 people will die on account of the gunshots. Unfortunately, the youth then get calls for go and burn the community health center. In the cause of the riots, then go and burn the community health center, and then disperse. Then be down at different locations in pockets with them. Whilst the security officers then be go and institute arrest all across the community. Now, then you so then bring them now the western, then bring them now this center, then bring them and scatter all over. In fact, then they in large number than the one they arrest from Lonsar. Then they all over police stations in the city. On the flip side of it, one tribal chief was also attacked by the irate community people. When we go, one of the first people who get in contact with the tribal chief, he's the Shabro tribal chief who goes by the name Benga, Mr. Benga. He's a fairly old man. According to sources and according to what Mr. Benga intel we, he said the youth then go attack him because it stopped them for listening to an audio coming from Adebayo. Adebayo, we all know, now somebody who can do audio them, where they discuss issues them on different things where they come up in the country, and we get some vulgar content as well. Now this, then you tell me they listen, now this community, and what thing that they do, that they put it on loudspeakers, they make sure say, when they listen to Adebayo, they put the audio on loudspeaker Bluetooth, where the community, everybody at the community, they listen, they get what Adebayo they talk. So Chief Benga, when a tribal chief for the Shabo people, get calls for intercept the youth and say them for stop for listening to this audio. The youth they refuse. Chief Benga go on radio, now the community radio, because community get radio station. In fact, that radio station was also attacked. Chief Benga go on the community radio for go inform the people that they're not for the listen to Adebayo on loudspeakers. That information they go around and they make the youth them then see and say Chief Benga maybe get political interest where the type of protect will make they refuse them for listening to Adebayo, or maybe instead they collude with certain people for undermining rights at the community. So instead become a subject of attack. Chief Benga in house was attacked and some damage was caused to his house. But thankfully, he was not hurt bodily. So when we go there, in fact, he was in good condition for explaining to me the issue. And in the course of we day one day, the Minister of Fisheries, when Madam Kowa also came with the entourage, with the deputy, and some people at the Fisheries Ministry, where we get calls for get some kind of court barrier dialogue. But before that, in fact, there had already been a declaration of curfew. Then declared curfew at the entire Tombo community. Every person at Tombo community was in-house. At the time we went to Tombo, at the time we arrived in Tombo, not a single civilian was out. The only people you could see out were journalists and the military personnel. And this Chief Benga, who was in the company of the military personnel, were giving an account. All the community people them be there in the house. The place was like a war zone. The place was deserted. It was like a war zone. You know, they see people around. It was so scary. Calls for get some kind of dialogue with the security personnel. We be comprised of policemen, them, the navy, and of course the soldier man. We be there. For let them actually update the minister and the journalists there and civil society there. We be there at the ground on waiting at the real issues that will affect from their own point of view. Waiting at their own version of the event. And most of waiting I explained, so you get the Abomaster every day. You get some community leaders every day. Of course, Chief Benga was there. He explained. They will not talk. The security personnel, they don't give or talk too much, because you know say they not can give or talk too much, because at some point, not even one lot of points camera them pad them. They tell we say they don't want for them a camera, they don't want for them padding them. So we respect them, their opinion. So they don't talk too much. Most of what come now from the fisherman them, they head them, Chief Benga. And then after that, we get calls for make a follow-up visit at the ground, where we end up forget now most of the facts that I don't explain to us. So there was a curfew order which take place, the way they did it for about 48. The people were placed under curfew. Just like waiting happened na Lonsar. We want to also condemn the act of violence which take place na Tombo. We want to condemn her in the strongest way possible as an institution and as human rights activists. We believe that violence should have no place in our society, that there could be amicable means of resolving our problems than resorting to violence. But whilst we also raise the issues there, so as civil society, and we will really relate to the communities them, we feel say we get a duty, a very cosmic one, for bring out the facts and for also bring out the effect, the implications of their issues there, so of their incidents here, so on the living conditions of the people. Whilst we want to look at the effects of the violence, waiting at the effect right now, we don't get hospital, don't be bombed, you don't get even the police station has been vandalized. You have lives that have been lost. You see, it is regrettable. For that, we people them they burn down hospitals. For that, we get people and they burn down police stations. Let me just send this word very clearly. That let no amount of anger not make you burn you hospital or burn you police station. Me family. Because you hospital, not a policeman get them. When you sick, now they go menu. The police station, not the policeman get them. The policeman, in fact, most of them policemen not even they live in their community. They go for go work in commodity. Most times they rotate them. They rotate them from their communities also, from time to time. So for that you born your own police station, you born you health center, you born your radio station. And not good. We condemn that. We don't support any citizen where they do that. We condemn us strongly, because all them don't put we back. But we also mindful of the causes of some of them things here, so what we call effect, the cause and effect. Whilst you look at the effect of waiting happen at them places there, so we also need to look at the causes of the incident here. So I believe say we live in the 21st century where everybody don't be conscious of their rights, and dialogue, diplomacy don't be used in addressing a lot of challenges that are different communities, different societies, different countries, and they don't prove to be very effective. This natural can be actually used by both authorities and with community people, but it is very lacking. I go be remiss, I know if I sleep well on net if I go hold it up. If I not say them things here, so I can say now. and I'm very clear on the issues there. So that we authorities for land for the dialogue with the community people the way they serve. This is now going into the recommendations. One of the recommendations that they present here is we need to have a community engagement with people as authorities. Wetin happen na Lonsar and wetin happen na Tombo. When you look at them critically, you go agree with me say na the absence of engagement, community, be tribal leaders and the security forces. That will be very slow for use. That will be very slow for use the power we get. That will be very slow for use the influence we get. That will be very slow for use the guns. That will be very slow for fire tear gas. That will be very slow for fire bullets. If the youths in the community, for instance, na Lonsar, they complain that their conditions they don't deteriorate, and that then they see say people that they pay community, businesses that they pay for certain facilities to the leaders them, and then they get them facilities there. So a responsible and receptive leadership go listen and then try for see how you go engage then youth and the other community people and they for explain to them the story. In the case we are in hands and clean. Address of people because there will be no paramount chief, there will be no police, there will be no LUC, there will be no brigadier, there will be no president, there will be no minister in the absence of the people where they serve. So there should be spaghetti relationship between the people and the people where they serve them. But that is lacking, and that they account for most of the conflict they already see in Tombo and Lonsar. In Tombo, what you would expect the authorities and for don't do was from both the forces and the local people away count the policy. The policy is very good, I must say, for actually make sure say the social distancing in this COVID-19 fight be respected. It was a very good policy for ensure that the boats them and the way they operate be actually reviewed. But you don't do that immediately after people don't come out under hardship, where they don't come out in 3 days lockdown. Then you count a policy, and in fact, what you will see very clearly was that the policy not get possible on them. It's like the policy will explain the policy to the community people. We say get information, we say not get time. Even as we speak, we never forget the fact today. Now accusations upon accusations, counter accusations, now they see. Then for not actually relay that information, they get community dialogue with the fishermen them, say for the good of una all and for the fight against corona, we won't forget this policy wherein we will now say 10 boats will go on for day, so that we will get this TSO addressed before it comes scatter upon an answer. Then for not even understand themselves. But for just wake up in the morning and load over the people it make people say it is mischievous and it gets some undertone for undermine the right of people to life. Because when you begin denying somebody the right for go and fend in living, it's like you're denying him and his family the right to live. So that is one problem. There is a serious deficit of community engagement. There is a serious deficit of diplomacy from the leaders and the community people. And I feel say this should be addressed by our leaders going forward. Let us begin get engagement. Let us be slow for use tear gas for our people. Let us be slow for go call policeman for our people or for address with people like say they not matter. Then things have to lead to agitation. And then they make people become mad that they go to the extent for go burn their hospitals them. Crazily they go burn hospital, burn police station, vandalize things enough for vandalize. Just as we see happen inside the Gable War. I feel say this is a very serious issue. Secondly, we dey recommend that the Attorney General in office, the AG in office, expeditiously try for table the regulations them around this COVID-19. Let we get clearly spelled out regulations the way they really govern this COVID-19 fight. We're going to make people that they come out no more, they go and put regulations in different communities and different isolated places like how we see happen in Tombo. Wetin happen at Tombo, now somebody sit down in corner, they decide for give regulation that people are not going to run boats again as them they run, and will lead to agitation amongst the youth, will cause the kind of disaster where make lost lives and 4 lives. 1 policeman, 3 community people die on that fateful day. Let the Attorney General in office try for table the regulations that we get for govern this COVID-19 fight. We don't get a state of emergency on this COVID-19 fight and not get regulations. It is very legal for get emergency declared in a state wherein the lives of people are they're threatened. But the state of emergency go get in efficacy, go get in legality complete, wherein there are regulations where they back up. The Attorney General in office promised Parliament that they will bring their regulations and 2 weeks after the Parliament endorse the state of emergency. It is over 1 month, if not over 2 months now. Till today, we not get regulations in our Parliament. And that is why you see somebody just can grab, they go talk, or group of people can just grab, then go sit down in corner. They agree, say today, this regulation, now they pass like this community, this now they do so, now this they will allow for this, and this will allow. And they lead to some other things here so. We suggest strongly that the regulations will be laid expeditiously in our Parliament. Now left politics, but some of them FFTR. Then FFTR gets rippling if then FFTR also gets rippling effects on the living conditions of the people. Then FFTR also gets rippling effects on the living conditions of the people. Let we left for the play with the law left for the play with the lives of the people. That's my one recommendation. Secondly, thirdly, we strongly recommend that there be a system in place for engage the youthful population of this country. Yes, the Minister of Youth, I must commend him. On the day of that riot at Tombo, he was there. And in role play, I commend them for that. I see a young man will get passion for doing work. I see the try. I see it don't follow through on the WASCA policies and this, that. But a lot more needs to be done. We ask that resourceful institutions, that government direct attention to that youth ministry and ensure that they provide the ministry with the necessary support where the ministry will use for empower the youth of this country in meaningful ventures. What didn't happen at Lonsar? When the account of the youth the way they talk to me is that most of them have been idle on account of the closure of mining companies that are then placed in there. They don't there for the past 2 years, they know they work. Their living conditions they deteriorate. Some of them die on account of poverty, starvation. They live in squalor. They don't use for the work that their mining companies they also doing the time they SL mining and they sell root tile, London, Africa minerals and what have you. All of that don't cut off. Waiting that they see now, then decide now forget now them leaders them and our hearts, then system and then leaders them responsible for the deployable state of affairs. Then see the paramount chief as a principal for make sure say they get this kind of poor state of affairs in the community in Lonsar. So what you can do now for begin get issues with them leaders and begin attack them. When you have a disgruntled youthful population, you have a disgruntled citizenry that is deprived of jobs, that is deprived of a better living condition, then you leave them to the mercy of violence and being used by ill-motivated people. Let us make sure say we empower we youth say whether the resource where this country will use. let we engage with them in meaningful ventures wey go make this country also go before. Fourthly, let me the one that we get the tendency for the youth them for doing dirty jobs. I believe say in every society, people know they use the youth them for do dirty jobs for them. If you cannot uplift the youth positively, you cannot provide them with jobs. You cannot provide them with skills to make them independent. Don't use them to perpetuate acts of violence. Don't use them for nefarious activities, please. Posterity will judge you. When you use them for that, you become liability to society. And when they become liability to society, you never know how it will affect you tomorrow. You never know how you get effect, how you get that effect. As a civil society activist, I feel compelled for raise the issues also in the midst of this discussion. Let we left for the politicize every issue that happen in this country. Now another recommendation. Let we stop for the politicize every issue that happen in this country. In the process of politicizing issues where they happen, we lost sight of the underlying issues that we need for address. Begin to attack party, APC, SLPP, na APC this so, na SLP this so. We will, in the process, we don't for address the issues and the real issues will lead to the conflict. Let we learn for the bring politics, dirty politics in everything that happen. In my own view, waiting happen na Lonsar and waiting happen at Tombo gets little or nothing for do with the politics where they happen in the country. But it gets a lot for do with a society that is disgruntled. It gets a lot for do with inability for able to discuss issues devoid of intimidation and violence. So the idea of bringing in naming this, that, APC, SLPP, this, that, is shameful and disgraceful, and in the process, it make with a lost sight of the issues for address. And that is why, even after what did happen at Tombo, the issues then will remain with the people, and it will continue to see violent activities that take place in the communities here. The youth then will left unattended to. The rights of the youth will continue for be trampled upon. Security personnel will continue to get attacks. Community property then will continue to be damaged. Because the process of then things here, so people they count politics for score point, and it's wrong. Somebody need for say them 2 years to politicians. It is disgraceful, very disgraceful, for like everything with the tag into politics. What happened at Tombo na from boat come out. Boat man then say then deny them for one boat. Then feel say then living condition will be affected. Policeman then come for can disperse them. Fet commodity gas killing take place there. Law address them from that angle and forget about politics, please. This is how a lot of things that they go unattended to in this country because quick follow tag into politics, please. We also need institutions. Institutions in this country need for build trust. They need for be professional in the way they do things. Why am I bringing trust and professionalism and credibility in the police or in the professional space? When a citizenry or when the people of a community not get confidence and trust in the leadership or in the security forces, in the authorities, when they feel say if they get them grievances, then go to a police station, the police now will address them with the kind way for address them. Or then go down to the paramount chief now will address them the way for address them. Or where they see say the police or the security agencies that they collude with powerful people for undermining rights. Or where they see say when they go na then kind side they don't even listen to them. It break down whatever trust or confidence we then get in their institutions they are so. And waiting they happen, they now sit down and when somebody knock, they say they knock. Just like we picking in a house. If they complain to mama, mama they take am serious. In fact, now mama they follow mama beat am. If they see people the way they violating right, they come and then the mama they can't tell mama something, mama they beat mama on top of it. If they see say mama no get, you know, if they get that notion, when they have all the notion say mama no get interest at heart. If somebody does something as critical come to, what they do is they take the law in hand. It is not a justification for violence, but these are the causes of violence. When you have a population, when you have a community, you have a citizenry that does not trust the security agency, that does not trust the law enforcement agency, that does not trust the judicial system, that does not trust the local authorities, that they're going for hand down justice or deliver justice to them. What it does is it undermines their morale. It undermines the credibility of these authorities and leads to people taking the law into their hands. We all in this country, we see what they happen. We all in this country, we except one for being hypocritical to the fact. We know that a lot of poor people, now they feel say the rights then will be actually catered for. It is bad in a state like this, a very poor state like this, a developing state like this. I'm not killing for talk about the war. I'm not killing for talk about the causes of the war, because the causes of the war, they're so tragic. The one that will not be there around, they don't read books then, they don't read stories, they don't see stories, they don't watch film them. We'll be there around, we'll be young at the time. We know what we'll go through. But things that will come out very clearly after the Truth and Reconciliation Commission report came out was that people lost confidence in state institutions like the judiciary and the police. The judiciary and the police come out glaringly. This is not a million statement that they make. This is a statement where the Truth and Reconciliation Commission make a report to them. People are violated by institutions, by people in communities. Then go to police they assure them of their rights. People are very powerful, they seize advantage, but people who don't get power, they not even forget their rights them addressed. In the process, they lock people up, they keep them in jail for a long time, seize their property. In the process, some man they die, they kill some man lost hope in the entire system. The judiciary was not a place where people feel say was safe for them for go for secret. Yes, society collapsed. People have lost respect for all the institutions they have to wait for provide remedy to people and then conditions them where they face in difficult times, where they seize advantage by person. People are now take to the bush. That was why the Ugebe War was so fierce. People, the whole world acclaim him for being one of the most barbaric wars in living memory. After the war, people away come for can't really find out what caused the war. They ask, who side the good people in this country be they? Who side all the civil society and the journalists them? The right-minded people in this country be they? When they don't tell this country degenerate to the level it degenerates. For 11 years, Pekin and dying at this country. Then cut Pekin in hand, and then cut woman in hand, then cut pad in hand. Then burn us them. Then dissect the tummy them of Bele woman them. Pull Pekin inside people in Bele. Then ask who side the good and right-minded people in Bide. And this is not the reason why we not go sit down in times like this and keep quiet and refuse to say the truth. Whilst we don't condemn violence in all forms, and we ask that an independent and credible investigation be carried out, devoid of politics, devoid of goal scoring, for investigate the issues that will happen at then communities there also, and bring out report, and the one that will bear the greatest responsibility be prosecuted and punished accordingly. But we feel say we need to look at the causes, and then we will now address the effects. If you know for look at waiting day, what are you mass? What you mass? You know if you know waiting affect you. If you don't know how you come out, you know how you go. I feel that they will appropriately address this which are the time for say. So every right-minded Sierra Leonean for be very concerned. No time this for people for begin to go and get a cast aspersions, this, that. I'm not too bothered about anybody who will begin to go and brand me or this or that. At the end of the day, I satisfy my conscience. What I have said here, they affect every Sierra Leonean and every community. And they speak the mind of every poor Sierra Leonean. We know for camera and social media. We know you forget the opportunity for the live now for address the issues just in mind that they speak. People were reasonable enough for able to appreciate the issues they also and address them. Let's get speedy investigations into some of them matter they also. Let's get speedy investigation into the matter they also. With a call on more civil society organizations, social workers, human rights activists, both locally and internationally, for joint forces with government and well-meaning institutions for able to engage the youthful population of this country. Mark you, the youth then constitutes about 70% of the population of Sierra Leone. The youth then we form the bulk of the population of this country. Majority of the people in this country are youth. 70% of the population, just 30, then try now to the adults them. 70% are youthful population. If the youthful population is highly enmeshed in acts of violence, if the youthful population is highly disgruntled, if the youthful population is so gullible, if the youth population could be used by ill-motivated people, be it politicians now or people that we just like how feel they can use youth and subject them to circumstances which will really be catastrophic. I feel say a lot of projects will be directed towards the youth sector, because the youth have been both the perpetrators and the victims. The youth have been the biggest perpetrators of violence, and they have been the biggest victims of violence at the same time. Right now, as I talk so, you get youth there waiting at the social media, where they write all kind of things them from political background. As I talk right now, you go be surprised for see educated youth. Then go there right now on this social media, so they talk all kind of things them. They write all kind of things them, condemning unnecessarily because of their political beliefs that they so hold on to. It is wrong. Let us have a youth population that is really conscious. Most people believe say a youth like me cannot take up issues without trigger from the vaccines. It is wrong. I'm an educated youth, independent, well exposed. I know my rights and I know what to say and I know how to say it. And I know how to dissect whatever somebody they say to me. Nobody, no mortal man na this world no come and can't conscientize me for go do something where I feel say good for me and for this country I go do am. Nobody, be it politician or be it investor, no carry with in agenda to me and I take a hook, line, and sinker. We look forward for see a youth population that is educated, conscious, that is aware of their rights, and not be too enmeshed in politics and violence. Right now, disgracefully, you will get some of them right now, disgracefully. We go there and write all kinds of things. They go there and write this, that from party angle, condemning this, that, tagging you, labeling you. But I'm not too care about labels. I serve my conscience. Some of us are not in civil society for the gains. or for the spoils. If we begin to civil society for the spoils, we will have know the standstill for the take by the entire so. With lives then they at risk. The kind of threats they receive from a company youth them. The kind of intimidation whether they try for bring because nobody can intimidate me. Some of them are doing it. They don't even know Thomas Moore Conteh where they talk to. Those people who have known me for quite a very long time will tell you that this is not the kind of person that could be intimidated. Go and do a thorough research about Thomas Moore, or somebody who could actually be taken off guard because of labeling or what have you. When I feel strongly, when I'm convicted within my mind about something, I speak it freely. When I'm convicted to act on something, I feel say it is just and proper for the general good, I pray to God Almighty to give me the strength and fortitude to do it. No politician, where you watch me first, that politician in this world, we will come and can't tell me, say, go do this or go perpetrate acts of violence and go do it. I'm speaking now to the heart and minds of the youth of this country. Even when I'm waiting on social media, where they curse people every day, they do all kinds of things for bring down people. Should have a rethink. We are not different from the one where they go and burn host them, where they go and burn hospital them. We are waiting on social media for attack people, where they try for promote rights and dignities, where they try for do what is just and right. We are not different from the one where they go and hold cutlass and they drink Pega Pack or Tramadol, or they go and cause problems there all over the place. We see politicians they sponsor youth them for do bad things. We see ill-motivated people they sponsor youth them for do bad things. It is wrong. Let the youth them be wise up. Let the politicians they also know say this is no longer time for use the youth. When you use the youth them for go perpetrate act of violence against your rival, no say there is what is known as karma. It gets a way to come back to you. It gets a way to come back to you. And they appeal and they advocate strongly that all the people where they don't keep in custody, where they face investigation currently, and we get health conditions, be provided with health facilities them with immediate effect. It is of right. These are not people who have been found wanting. Every man is presumed innocent until found wanting by a competent court of law. There is a case of a young man who is currently at Joe detention center, where I get that particular complaint. Allegedly, where they don't refuse for provide health facility for, and then say it gets some serious damage, where in body they rotting by part. That person they deserve prompt medical attention, and most others where they in detention currently. And we also ask that the right of people to fear investigation not be violated. There is a notion in this country when a whole person where they go through investigation, that they present as if they have already found that person guilty of an offense. It is wrong. The law say they treat person as somebody who is guilty of an offense until a competent court do that. So for them, they beat people and them detention center them to a part of matter, deny them certain rights. It is wrong. As a human rights activist running an organization that is legally registered and incorporated under the laws of Sierra Leone, and they put onto any law enforcement agency where they do that it is wrong. You don't do that. You don't go ahead and treat you picking so or you famble so. Whilst we know they condone violence, but do not treat people where they undergo investigation as criminals already. Please. The idea of name calling of people where already they undergo investigations is outrightly wrong. Nobody no gets right for begin call somebody names criminals or terrorists where they undergo investigation. There has not been any court of law where don't find them people where they currently under incarceration guilty of any offense. Even the one where they accused of treason, no court not find them guilty of any offense. So it is wrong to call people where they undergo trial currently as criminals. Please, I want to go down on record on this. It is very wrong. According to the law of this country, when you hold somebody for minor offense, like them misdemeanor, them minor misdemeanor, them basic offenses, them like them traffic offense, basic offense, they will hold person, them basic thing then they. You never keep her in custody for over 3 days. You never keep her in custody for over 3 days. You don't take her to court for trial. Or you don't grant and bail. When you hold somebody for what you call felonious offense, when you say felonious offense, na grave offense, like then treason, arson, they want to burn property, then this, that, murder, these are grave offenses. The law of this country, 1991 Constitution, also say you never keep that person there in custody without taking the person to court or granting the person bail for over 10 days. These are laws we meant for protect the rights of people and fair trial rights. Let we respect the right there so. All over the world, they respect the rights there, even in the midst of COVID-19. Please, we beg with authorities them. I beg with authorities them for adhere to the rights. Now that make we exist as civil society activists. We not get reason for exist if we not for bring out them things they are so in times like this. We not go into the issues them, into the nitty-gritty for being cast blames as to whether get right, whether not get right. And let we also see the law they be implemented fairly. What is good for the goose should be good for the gander. Where you hold Mr. A for one offense, you hold Mr. A for offense for thief. If Mr. B self thief, you for hold Mr. B for thief. But when you hold Mr. A for thief, the hold Mr. B thief, you not hold him. It is unjust. It is unjust. And these are the things that they make with the lost confidence in the authorities. And these are the things that they make with the lost confidence in institutions where for provide justice. I applaud the president on his action for suspend the resident minister North, Mr. Abu, where they on camera for threatening the people of in community where it's supposed to provide security and assure of justice. Say he go shoot and kill anyone we try him, or he go order the policeman for shoot and kill anybody we try him or we try in government. I applaud the president for where he suspend him. Even for that you make mention, say you don't authorize the police. You make the police appear like one kind of puppet institution. That now people, when they talk about orders from above, you clearly display say the police is being remote controlled by authorities in power. Because you get power, don't mean say you can go and authorize the police for go do anything. Even if not to kill people, you don't get that right. No authority in this country don't get right for go tell the policeman what for do. The police will be an independent institution. This is how they use the police. This is how authorities like Abu they use the police for they go against people who do not agree with. It don't manifest that clearly in a video. It is disgraceful, and I'm glad that he received wide condemnation. And we thank the president for his suspender. But equally so, we ask that Abu be investigated. For let me grab in the morning and go team up na cotton tree and make threats say I will kill people who try me. I will make sure say I shoot and kill people who try me. By this time for they behind bars now. By this time for they na police net for make I go tell them waiting trigger me for talking kind talking day. So we ask that not only for be suspended, Abu should not only be suspended, the resident minister North should not only be suspended, but that he should be subjected to investigation. Suspension is not enough. We appreciate suspension, but let him be investigated for such inflammatory statement, threats, inflammation, and of course indecent behavior. Let we begin get authorities and for begin no say they are servant to the people and not lords. When once that happen, generation after generation will begin respect power, and power will become something where they come from God and people will cherish them. Not to the way make bagbatipa. Bagbati not for the way you hold authority. So we appreciate President Bio for that day. And that for be a warning to any other person who hold office currently. But on a final note, youth, any youth where they go born in hospital, where they go born in radio station, where they go born in police station, where they go born in authority in oath, we need to check that youth in head. A condemnable with a condemner with the strongest words necessary. So violence, not forget place our community. Let us get community engagement. Then policeman, let us get community policing. It should not only be in words, community policing, force for good. Let us see how they practicalize community policing in the way they address issues the way they happen with different communities. And we make way for address the issues of violence. Some of the issues that will happen at Tumbo and Lonsal for be done addressed amicably. In an instance where we get community policing in display, where we get security personnel and the community people, they will get that kind of dialogue, they hobnob, then get that cordial relationship, not to that relationship for the fire, tear gas, or when they can burn police station. So please, we will come out on the issues there. So I feel say this now one effective means for communicate. I want to thank and appreciate each and every person we don't follow we here tonight on this particular broadcast. We go improve on the broadcast as time they go. We still try to get strategies in place for able to improve on the way they do the NTR. So for get more sophisticated machine them for to do this. We go make the picture them very clear. And we even bring evidence. I want for really to bring evidence of what they talk. Like where I talk say them burn the hospital and Tombo, and for will bring video or pictorial evidence of that. Wait for the display where they see them. Where I talk say them burn the Range Rover Sport or them burn portion of the Paramount Chief and Lonsai Hills, and if I bring pictorial evidence for sure. When I talk about things that will happen at different communities, and if we bring that, we need for really improve on this. Well, I want to thank you all. I want to appreciate. We not for read all the comments or respond to all the comments them, because we don't receive hundreds of comments. I don't see hundreds of people online who don't follow this program. I have shown her that we will continue to do. We work diligently with the fear of God. Some of we believe say coming into civil society is a calling. Coming into civil society activism is a calling. We not come into civil society for come and enrich yourself, or for come destroy anybody, or for come pull somebody in work, or for disrupt the peace, or come into this work for give voice to the voiceless, support government where need be, say the truth where for be. Civil society for able to speak the truth. Civil society for able to demand accountability and transparency. Civil society for able to ask government for do more even when they do. Civil society for able to question policies and programs. Any civil society when able to do that, it's not a civil society. And some of us are here to actually make sure that we complement the effort of other civil society we don't done to this act. We're genuine and we get good intentions for this country, for ensure that we for waiting for make this country become a prosperous, safe, and just society for everybody, irrespective of your class. Be you somebody who rich, be you somebody who poor, be you somebody who come out from an affluent family, be you somebody in a power or not, this society for be just, it will be free, it will be equitable for all. That is what we are here to do. We thank you all. May God bless we all. May God bless we in this month of Ramadan. May God bless we Muslim brothers and sisters when they keep the fast. May God bless your families. And as at the end, let we abide. Let we respect the measures that will not be put in place by government for this COVID-19. Millions of people don't suffer from this COVID-19 across the world. In countries that we get very good health systems, thousands of people don't die. In America, over 40,000 people don't die. Not only infected, they don't die of corona. America, we get good health systems. Britain, more don't die. Spain, Italy, all over the world. In Sierra Leone, we do well. But let we do more. Social distancing is a very big concern. Let we respect what the Master Sabi people they say, what the government they say. For distance yourself, not create problems. When you get corona, make sure say if you get the signs, if you cough too much, you sneeze too much, your body dey warm, you get difficulty for swallow, alert 117, call 117, they will come there immediately for come pick you up and go give you medication. If you call them in time, the tendency for let you able for well a day. We don't get people in Boku, we don't get from this disease because they call the Master Sabi people before the thing gets worse. The one that we can die most times are the one that we be say either the age don't tell on them or they not call the Master Sabi people and quick forgive the medication. Let we use face mask them. I not use face mask now also because we are sitting at this whole place. Now me one game there also. So I not pose threat to nobody and nobody not pose threat to me. So I don't need for use face mask. Or where they going at street, where they in a public place, I always get me face mask. I get the one that way at the brook, I iron them very well. I use them. I get the one that way we say, if not that one the way which man I make, where I use them at where. Now we wash your hands them regularly. And let we avoid things that will make we get corona. May God bless we all. May God bless we leaders in this country. May God bless the people of this country. And may God bless the country bountifully. I love you all. I thank you all.